After moving into an old building, I started noticing strange things in the apartment across from mine. What seemed like mere loneliness turned into a nightmare. And now I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know if what I'm about to tell is a confession, a warning, or just a cry for help. Sometimes I think I'm going insane, but other times it feels more like I'm waking up from a very long dream. The only thing I do know is, after everything, I'm not the same. And I don't think I ever will be. I moved into this building about 5 months ago. It's old, the kind with worn-out tiles in the lobby and an elevator with a folding gate. I was coming out of a divorce, needing space, silence, time to myself. I found this small apartment on the 3rd floor, good price, and the agent moved quickly, maybe a little too quickly. I signed the lease without thinking much. The apartment was 304, right across from 305. The first thing I noticed was the silence. Even in the middle of the city, everything there felt muffled, like sound couldn't quite reach that hallway. On my first day, while carrying boxes up, I heard the sound of wood creaking, like a chair being dragged. It came from 305. I thought it was normal. Someone getting settled in, maybe an elderly woman. The first time I saw the woman from 305 was that same night. I was coming back from the store, walking through the lobby, and saw her window lit up. The curtain was slightly open, and she was there, sitting in an armchair near the window, staring at me. She didn't move much, just stared. When she saw me, she slowly raised her hand in a faint wave. It was a soft gesture, almost emotionless. I awkwardly waved back. There was nothing scary about her, just an unsettling calm. In the following days, I noticed she was always there, every morning, every afternoon, every night, always in the same position, sometimes with a cup in her hands, sometimes just still, staring ahead. That window became part of my routine. I'd wake up, have coffee, look out my window, and there she was. At first I found it kind of charming. Thought about saying hi, maybe leaving a note at her door, but I never heard footsteps, never heard her door open, not even when I passed by early or late. She seemed planted there, like a living statue. One day I decided to knock. I had a store-bought apple pie in hand, a gesture to break the ice. Knocked once, twice, 3 times. Nothing, not a sound from inside. When I turned to leave, I saw her window, and she was there, watching me, staring. I froze. It was impossible. I was right at her door, and she was inside. The window was on the opposite side, unless she had walked past me unnoticed, and the door had never opened. I went down the stairs with my heart racing. I started noticing more things. Faint sounds during the night, furniture creaking, slow footsteps in the hallway at 3 a.m. One day, I heard the toilet flush in 305, 3 times in a row. Then, total silence. Another night, I heard a TV on, an old sound, like a soap opera from the 70s. When I approached her door, it stopped. Silence again. I decided to ask the building superintendent about her. I didn't say much, just mentioned she seemed like a very reserved lady. He frowned.
305 is empty, sir.
I laughed. What do you mean empty? There's a woman living there. She's always at the window.
Not since the fire.
That froze me. Fire?
About 7, 8 years ago. A guy lived there alone. Fire broke out in the middle of the night. They say he died trying to escape, but the door jammed. When they finally got in, there was only ash and part of an armchair left. No one's rented it since. People say it has electrical problems.
I went back to my apartment, frozen inside. I went straight to my phone. I had taken several photos of the view from my window. The sunset hitting the building facade, for instance. In several, 305 was in the background. I zoomed in on one, then another, and another. In none of them was anyone at the window. I swear I saw her there. Every single day. That started eating me up inside. I lost sleep, felt watched, even with the curtains drawn. One night, I dreamed of 305 in flames. In the dream, I looked through the keyhole and saw fire dancing in the dark, but it made no sound. When I woke up, I smelled something burning, but only in my apartment, nothing outside. No one else mentioned it. People told me I must have imagined it. Things got worse after that. I started finding things out of place. My toothbrush in the freezer, my clothes shuffled around, my sneakers covered in dirt, even though I hadn't gone out. One time I woke up with my apartment door unlocked, and I always lock it. Always double check. And then, there was the note. It was on my bed, folded, a yellowed, aged paper. I recognized the handwriting immediately. It was mine, but I had never written it. It said, "If you're reading this, it's already too late. Don't look at 305's window. Don't go in." I started doubting myself. I began recording voice notes before bed, writing down everything I did. One night, I recorded a video message. "Today is Tuesday, the 12th. I'm okay. I'm just tired." The next day, I didn't remember recording it, and when I watched it, I wasn't alone in the video. Behind me, in the reflection of the turned-off TV, there was someone sitting on the couch. A woman, staring directly at me. I woke up one night sitting on the kitchen floor, no idea how I got there. Then, I saw 305's window open for the first time. I shouldn't have, but I went to the hallway and stood in front of her door. I felt like my body was being pulled, against my will. I turned the doorknob. It was unlocked. The door opened by itself. The smell inside is impossible to describe. Not bad, not good. Like the absence of smell. As if the air itself were dead. The lights wouldn't turn on. The room had furniture covered with stained sheets, dust everywhere, except on the floor. On the floor were footprints, mine. Shoe prints exactly like mine, going in and out. In the middle of the room, a chair, and on it a framed photo of me. On my couch, holding the note. The photo had been taken from outside, through the window. On the wall, stabbed with a rusty knife, another note.
"You've always lived here."
I ran, locked the door, rushed to the superintendent, begged him to come with me. He looked at me like I was delirious. When we returned, the door to 305 was shut with a thick chain and a fire department seal. He swore it had always been like that. When we opened it, it was empty. Thick dust everywhere, but no chair, no photo, not even furniture. Since then, the neighbors think I'm crazy. I've never seen the woman again. But sometimes when I look in the mirror, I see someone behind me. When I turn off the lights, I hear a chair dragging in the next room. When I face the window, I feel a strange warmth coming from 305, like the air in there is burning. And the worst part is that I've started to like her presence. Since everyone else judged me, she's all I have left. I lost track of time after that. My life became a mess, and it took me a while to notice. I decided to force myself into a strict routine. Stayed out as much as possible, only came home to sleep. With that kind of schedule, I was always exhausted. I never saw the woman from 305 again. Never heard the sounds, at least not like before. Probably because of the change I forced myself to make. But sometimes, when I pass by the mirror, I hear a faint whisper, as if someone's calling me back. And if one day I disappear, now you know where to look.